Welcome to the Burnout Broadcast, the podcast where we dive deep into the pressures of demanding careers and their impact on mental health. I am Matias and I am here with my co-host Brenda. Hi Brenda.
Hello everyone. Today we're talking about something we don't often discuss openly in the mental health tool that comes with working in high-stress jobs. Especially we're going to focus on the veterinary field where burnout and emotional fatigue are all too common.
That's right, and our guest today has first-hand experience in the veterinary field, where the emotional and physical demands are often intense. We are joined by Rocio, a former employee of the veterinary company that traveled throughout Chile doing castration surgeries. Come in, Rocio.
Okay. Hi everybody, hi guys. Thank you for having me, and it's an honor to be here to talk about something that is not openly talked about.
We are really glad to have you here with you. So to start, could you tell us a bit about your background in this veterinary field?
Yes, of course. I worked as a veterinarian technician for a year, and during that time I experienced the intense pressure of the job. Everything from long hours to the emotional weight of having to make life or death decisions for animals to navigating the constant demands of the tutors. I started to feel emotionally drained and overwhelmed by the stress, and it wasn't until I took a step back that I realized just how much this profession can take a toll on someone.
It sounds like the pressure really builds up, and it's something we don't often talk about outside of the profession, right? We tend to associate the veterinary field with compassion and care for animals, but it seems like there's another side of it that is not as glamorous.
Absolutely. Actually, the thing about the veterinary profession is that it's deeply emotionally rewarding, but also emotionally draining. Veterinarians are caregivers, but we don't always have the resources to take care of ourselves, and we deal with death and trauma, and often we have to make really tough decisions that carry a lot of emotional weight.
And that burnout doesn't just stay at work, right? It can affect every area of your life.
Exactly. When you're constantly stressed at work, it starts to affect your physical health. Sleep problems, digestive, anxiety, depression. But even more concerning is that the mental health risk in this profession is higher than others. Studies have shown that veterinarians have one of the highest suicide rates of any profession, and the numbers are like 3.5 times more likely to die by suicide compared to other professions.
That statistic is really chilling. It really puts into perspective how dangerous burnout can be. It's not just the everyday stress, it's the compound effects of grief, trauma, as you said, emotional pain, to seem to get overlooked.
For sure. I think a lot of people assume that working with animals must be such a rewarding job, but as you said, it comes with a lot of emotional challenges. What are some of the specific mental challenges that veterinarians face in their jobs?
Well, there's a lot of emotional labor involved in the veterinary work. You're expected to remain calm, professional, and empathetic to face difficult situations, but over time, constantly putting others' needs ahead of your own can lead to fatigue or depression. It's also common to experience guilt when things don't go as planned, and whether that's a pet passing away or despite despite doing your best efforts, or dealing with upset owners who are frustrated with the outcome. For example, this one time I was working in Alwe, that is a city near Rancagua, and we had this tutor come in, and I made his his paperwork, and he told me that the dog had 5 years. And when the dog came to the surgical table, we noticed that the dog was actually 10 years old, and by the time that we noticed, the dog had died already. Then the real tutor came, that was the mother of the guy that I make the paperwork with, and she yelled at us, she yelled at the surgeon, and the surgeon was with a lot of anger, he was frustrated, and we stopped like for 10 minutes. We took a break to like think and to do like the other surgeries, like okay, because we were feeling like really bad and that way we couldn't work. And that's some of the things that happen when tutors lie, because they oftenly lie about the health of their pets, because they think that if they lie to us, they're gonna get like the surgery, but if they lie to us, their pet are gonna die.
Yeah, it sounds like the emotional tool is really immense, and as you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of guilt tied to know that being able to fix everything, and when you're working with animals, there's also this feeling that you're letting the pet down or the owner down, even when you have done everything that you can.
Exactly, and you can feel like there's no room to talk about these struggles. The culture in this field is that no one emphasizes, and it's like if you don't act like tough, it's like you're admitting like you're weak, and unfortunately this makes it harder for people to seek help, and the stigma around mental health in this profession is a huge barrier. We often prioritize the needs of our patients and clients over our own mental health.
Wow. Well, guys, this conversation is very interesting, but before we continue, we'll take a short break. Don't go away, we will be right back.
Well, back to where we were. You were saying, Rocio, that admitting that you're struggling can feel like a weakness.
That's so important, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others, whether it's animals or people. So, in your experience, Rocio, what are some ways to combat burnout or prevent from taking over?
I think that the first that you can do is seek for support. That is key, whether that's talking to a colleague or a therapist. Finding someone to share your feelings is crucial. Many veterinary professionals are starting now to open about their mental health, and there's power in knowing that you're not alone. Setting boundaries can can be equally important. Learning to say no when you're feeling overwhelmed, and prioritize self-care by making time for rest, hobbies, activities, and socializing as well. Simple habits like getting enough sleep, eating well, and unplugging from work in your free time can help reduce stress. And lastly, I would say that being proactive about your mental health can help you to reduce stress. Regularly checking with yourself, taking mental health days, and engaging in activities that help you manage stress before it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah, I love that advice, Rocio. Especially the part about setting boundaries and prioritizing your mental health proactively, as you said. So for those in high stress field like veterinary care who might be listening today, what would you say to someone who is struggling but unsure how to ask for help?
I would say that it's okay to not be okay. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. It's a recognition that you matter. Whether you reach out to a friend, a therapist, or an employee assistance program, there are people out there who care about you and want to help you. And you don't have to carry all that weight alone. And please remind yourself that your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Taking steps to protect your emotional well-being is crucial for long-term success and happiness in your career.
That's a very important message, Rocio. Thank you so much for sharing your personal experience with us, and for sure for helping to raise awareness about this issue. Your insights are invaluable.
Yes, thank you so much, Rocio, again for joining us today and for everything you are doing to support mental health in such a high-pressure profession.
Well, thank you, both of you. It was a pleasure to be here, and I hope this conversation helps others to feel empowered about their mental health and to take care of themselves.
Also, thank you very much to our listeners for tuning in to another episode of the Burnout Broadcast. If you're feeling the weight of a stressful job, remember asking for help. And that's not only okay, but also necessary. We'll see you next time, and until then, take care of yourself.
And remember, guys, if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, please reach out to professional or contact a suicide prevention hotline. You are not alone. See you next week. Bye.
Bye bye.